Today in our 2017 Toyota RAV4, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Etrailer Class 3 custom fit trailer hitch receiver. So here's what our hitch looks like once we have it fully installed. Now you can see the cross tube is going to be visible. It's going to hang right down right below the bumper. But our hitch is going to offer us a 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening, so we'll have a lot of different options when it comes to accessories. Like if we want to mount up a bike rack, a cargo carrier, or if we need to put a ball mount in to tow a small trailer. Now the way we're going to mount all of our accessories is through the hitch pin hole here on the side. Our hitch is going to accept a standard 5/8 pin and clip. Now these are not included in the kit, but you can pick them up here at Etrailer.com along with some locking devices to make sure your accessories are secure. Now if you do plan on doing some towing, our safety chain connection point is going to be a loop style, welded to the bottom. As you can see, we'll have plenty of room to get most size hooks on or off. Now what I really like about this hitch, opposed to the other ones, is the finish on it. This one's going to have a carbide, almost a flat black finish to it, opposed to that high gloss you normally see on hitches. And that's not only going to help protect it against any kind of rust or corrosion, but it's also going to help hide the scratches and dirt a lot better. Now when it comes to the hitch, the weight capacity is going to be a major concern. Our hitch is going to have a 525-pound tongue weight. That's going to be the maximum downward force of the receiver tube. There'll be plenty for some of those larger cargo carriers or even up to 4 or 5 bikes. Now as far as the gross trailer weight rating, it's going to have a 3,500-pound gross trailer weight rating. That's the amount our hitch can pull, including the trailer and everything we have loaded on it. Now it is designed to work with weight distribution systems as well. That's going to keep the tongue weight the same, but it's going to bump the gross trailer weight up to 4,000 pounds. Now with all those numbers, you want to double check your RAV4's owner's manual because you don't want to go over the manufacturer's recommended weight. I'd like to give it a few measurements, and that's going to help you whenever you're looking for accessories for your new hitch, like a ball mount, a bike rack, or even a cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost edge of the bumper, it's right about 3.5 inches. That's going to help out when you're looking at folding accessories to make sure you have enough clearance and they're not going to come in contact with the rear bumper. From the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening, it's right about 13.5 inches. That not only is going to help you when you're looking for a ball mount, so you can match it up to your trailer and find the appropriate rise or drop, but also at that height, I would recommend a bike rack or a cargo carrier with a raised shank. That way we get a little bit more ground clearance. But now that we've seen what the hitch looks like and gone over some of the features, let's put it on together. To start out, we're going to come to the back of our RAV4 and we're going to come underneath on the driver's side. And we'll find this plastic appearance panel. We're going to have to pull that out. So if we look towards the end or the back of the bumper here, we're going to have a few push pin fasteners that are holding it in. So we can grab a flat blade screwdriver. Now there's a small notch in the center. We'll put our screwdriver in there and pop that center pin out. And then we can pull on it, then we can get our screwdriver underneath the base and pull the rest of it out. We'll have a total of 2 push pins at the back here. Now if we move forward on the panel, at the very end, right by our rear suspension here, we're going to have a nut that's holding it in place. So we can grab a 10mm socket and we'll pull it out. Now once that's loose, we can pull the panel out and we'll set it aside. Now underneath that panel, we'll have our tie-down hook on the driver's side. We'll have 2 bolts holding into the bottom of the frame. So we can grab a 17mm socket and pull those 2 bolts out. And we'll pull this out, and this is not going to get reinstalled. If we move over to the passenger side, we'll have our muffler and tailpipe towards the back of the bumper. And if we come in just a little bit, we'll have the exhaust hanger. We're going to need to remove the hanger from the muffler, so I'm going to spray a little bit of lubricant on there, make it easier for that rubber isolator to slide off. You can take a pry bar, and if we use the muffler, you can actually just pry that rubber isolator off, and our exhaust will come down just enough. Now on the other side of that hanger, we have this metal rod that's going to be attached using 2 bolts on top. So I'm going to grab a 12mm socket. I'm going to pull those 2 bolts out so we can remove the rod. We'll pull this out, and this is not going to get reinstalled either. On each side of the frame, we're going to have several holes in there. A couple of them will be threaded. Now the mounting locations we're going to be using is the threaded hole that's furthest towards the front, and then the one that's towards the very back. I'm going to grab one of the bolts from our kit, and I'm going to run it in by hand, making sure there's no dirt, debris, or anything else that'll cause the bolt to cross thread. You want to double check all the weld nuts in the frame. It'll be the two same locations on both sides. And since it'll be easier to show you the combination of hardware without having the hitch here, we're going to take one of our bolts from our kit and a conical tooth washer. There is going to be some small teeth on that washer. You want to make sure they're facing up towards the hitch. We'll lift our hitch up, go through the hitch, and thread the bolts into the frame. Now it's a good idea to get an extra set of hands. We'll lift our hitch up over the passenger side first to clear the exhaust. Then we'll lift it up to where the side plates line up with the holes in the frame. And you want to take your hardware, and you want to get at least one bolt in on each side. That way the hitch will support itself, and we can get the rest of the hardware in place. With all of our hardware in place, I'm going to come back with a 19mm socket and snug it all up. I'm going to come back with a torque wrench, and I'm going to torque all my hardware down to the specified amount in the instructions. You want to make sure you go back and repeat that for all the remaining hardware. For our exhaust, I'm going to spray a little bit more lubricant on the isolator and the hanger itself. That'll help slide it back into place. And just slide the rubber isolator back on the hanger. That'll finish up your look at the Etrailer Class 3 custom fit trailer hitch receiver on our 2017 Toyota RAV4.